Alright, folks, it's me again. Well, I've got a bit of an interesting battle, I guess you could say. It's going to be me and Honky, both in our Texas on the nice, wonderful map here. I believe this is Shards. This replay... well, I guess you could say good things come to those who wait. But, well, I guess I could use this time to discuss the new update that has recently come out. You know, first and foremost, you've got the German destroyers, and it's a bit of an interesting little thing for the most part. Before I get to this replay, I'll discuss that. As I've got a little bit of time, because it's not going to get all that interesting until about the 10-minute mark. But that gives me a little bit of time to cover a few things. The German destroyer line, the first three ships of the line, the 2, 3, and 4 line. Oops. That's actually a little bit of a gag that me and Honky and Camplin and Major and all the others that we play with. I don't know how I haven't turned blue. I don't know how I haven't turned pink. Well, blue in tanks and pink in warships. Because we're hitting each other all the time. We're firing at each other all the time. Usually at the start of the battle, and usually get pretty serious once we get done with that. Yeah, it's kind of like work your stupidity out, I guess you could say. Well, back to the destroyers before I get on another squirrel moment. It's 4:22 in the morning. German destroyers. First three ships, the V-22, the G-101, and the 170. Not bad ships, really. They're really not bad ships. But as well as that, they're on the destroyer line, but they're not exactly... the first bit are not exactly truly destroyers. They're actually motor torpedo boats, but they're not the standard motor torpedo boat like we're used to thinking of. You know, most of us that have any knowledge of World War II, when we think of a torpedo boat, we think of like the PT boats or the British kind of style motor torpedo boats. We don't really think of the larger ones that, you know, were developed, and quite a few of the navies actually had those. I mean, even Norwegians, even the Italians, even the British, even the Germans. I believe I believe we still had some even in the Americans, while we primarily went after PT boats. But going back to the line, the German line of destroyers, they kind of have a issue with them. I'm not saying that they won't be played, but I don't see these being played as heavily as per se of like the Japanese were, you know, before they got the little gunboat, torpedo boat nerf split, as you could call it. Which is kind of weird because the gunboats get a torpedo reload while the torpedo boats don't. I'm not exactly sure why, and just, whatever. Anyways, back to the German ones. They had initially, before the release, a stealth ability to fire their guns pretty decently. But now, I don't know. I don't know what the real play of playing the German destroyers are, because you're detected up to almost anywhere between 12 and 15 kilometers based on, depending on which ship you're in. And that just makes you visible to everybody. And well, the thing about this is these destroyers, they're not maneuverable. I mean, they're not as, okay, maybe I'm a little bit spoiled by the Sims and my other American destroyers that are really, really swing style. But these, I don't know. Leave comments in down below and tell me what you think. I mean, are y'all having interest of time with them, or y'all having as much of an issue with them as I can see with them? And the ones that have the 150 millimeter guns, in my opinion, these are nothing more than basically pocket cruisers or light cruisers. They're destroyers. I mean, actually, in actuality, I guess you could say they're heavy destroyers, but in the sense of it. But it just, I don't know. That detection range is just abysmal, and it seems like they have made the destroyer detection ranges further than they used to. I don't know. I don't know if that's because of... I don't usually play destroyers too much, but I don't know. I'm more of a cruiser battleship captain, and with a little bit of a destroyer, and then finally a carrier bringing up the rear. But I don't know. Got a couple more minutes before we get into the swing of things. Most of the enemy team hit on this kind of on this match so far has been mostly heading down towards the A cap, while we've been focusing on B and then C. Now, granted, the enemy did take C primarily, but we pushed them completely out of that. I mean, they were gone. Now, oddly enough, we were actually down 2 ships while they are only down a destroyer. I kind of point out to myself and to the captain, to the carrier player, and Gilles, that he's got targets coming up behind him. And it's about this point in time I tell Honky, bring it all the way about. I mean, to swing our guns back to the right, that we need to turn around, because we're going to need to be intercepting forces that are coming down south from Alpha to try to come up behind our carrier. You know, I see the cruiser, but I don't see the rest of the stuff that's coming in. And I decide to fire at an enemy that there is no way in hell I could hit that. But, you know, we're in a Texas, and we're in a Tier 7 battle. Yeah. Interesting. My apologies there. Yeah. I quite literally don't get a hit. I don't get anything for baseline experience until probably about now. But I mean, and I don't even hit him. But yeah, interesting. What we end up actually having coming down this way is, you can see, now you can start to see the stuff. We got the Cleveland, we got the Gneisenau, we've got the Texas, or I'm sorry, they're New York, and they've got a Hagaro that's already coming a little bit down south, as well as we've got further elements that are over there by Alpha right now. Now, I begin to focus on this Cleveland here before he decides to just disappear. We'll put it like that. Gone. And Honky just deletes him. Now, Honky has actually been having a little bit of a decent bout here. Now, the Texas versus any other Tier 5 battleships AA, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'll put money on the Texas all day long. They actually made the Texas right as far as what the anti-aircraft armaments were. It was one of the biggest quips and one of the biggest complaints I had in beta was how inaccurate, you know, initially they were saying, you know, the 1940s hull, the 1945 hull, this, and this, instead of your A hull, B hull, C hull, because they were basing it off of what time periods, the refit times. Well, you had this 1944, 1942, 1944 refit for the New Yorks, and it was missing all this anti-aircraft armament, and I'm like, really? Y'all are missing half of the 40mm Bofors, you're missing half the Orlikins and all this such and such. As we begin to engage this Haguro I'm sorry, Miyoko, actually, that's trying to take out our carrier. Now, we head him off. Sorry. Now, we head him off, actually, begin engaging him here as... Let's see. Right about... Bye. Citadel. My first kill, my first true hit on a ship, and I just delete that Miyoko. Now, it wouldn't have taken a whole heck of a lot for the simple fact that you saw me just kind of look away about this point. I'm sitting there looking around the map, trying to get a gist of things going on. And this Gneiss now is coming in. He's burning a little bit. You can see what we've got now left. Teams don't have a whole heck of a lot left on each one. We outnumber them pretty solidly. We've got a Colorado coming in here. Colorado's at almost full health, while that Gneiss now, he's hurting. He's taking fire from every direction. It's just a matter of time before he's gone. And do I get him? Do I get him? Ooh, do I get him? Uh-oh, he's turning back. Ow. Come on. Now, you'll notice that I'm firing quite a bit of HE here. Against the front section of a ship, I was actually going to swap over to AP had the ship continued to into a turn there, but I'm going to be honest with you, without that first #1 skill, and I don't recommend the loading skill of any kind on any ship, unless you're playing something like, say, a Sims or something that fires ultra fast, but to be honest with you, that point can be spent better than that one. Now, I fired a nice little salvo here. Ooh. Don't actually do any damage to him. He's gone. There ain't no fixing that one. Oh. And the Colorado is coming at me. Now, I've actually got to give it to Angeal. Angeal helps us out. And you can see these torpedo planes coming in from the north, right? They're just north of me. And those dive bombers. Now, we've got a Kiev laying down smoke for our Cleveland. To be honest with you, a cruiser, if I was the battleship, I would be going for the cruisers to kill them. I would be going for the Atlanta and the Cleveland first and foremost, because they're going to be the ones setting me on fire. And he smacks me hard. It didn't look like there was actually a Citadel, but I did take severe heavy damage. I had to have taken some sort of Citadel, as you can see that I'm able to repair it. Now, Angeal drops these torpedoes on this Gneiss now. Colorado, my apologies. At which point, I notice he's coming at me. I bank hard left, realizing he's going to try and ram. It doesn't matter, though. The torps get him. The flooding gets him. The burning gets him. And I serve the torps from... By the way, it's at this point in time that Colorado is sitting there cussing at Angeal, as you can see. He was not exactly happy about that. You ruined a perfectly good moment. He was going for that ram on me. It was just... I was praying. And I got lucky. It's about at this point in time, the New York, he decides to turn about, and it's just... It's a pure on nope. Oh, hell no. I ain't having any of this. We're setting them on fire like crazy. I'm hitting in the back with AP. I swap over to HE here. Well, it's a question of do we actually get them or not. Oh! And our Kiev gets him. It's a second kill. It's about, I mean, for the most part, the rest of the match pretty much plays out like this. I mean, there's not a whole heck of a lot that I'm going to do left. Obviously, I'm in Texas. We're at 930 points, and the enemy team has just gone. The carrier, and then oddly enough, the carrier has not been spotted the entire match. I cannot blame him on that one. I don't know if he lost all of his aircraft or if what. I mean, granted, I took out some of his shit. Yeah, here's a nice little portfolio shot there, I guess you could say. I know he was dropping planes left and right, you know, trying to do damage to our team, but it just, he lost it all. I'm pretty sure he lost all of his aircraft. And we'll see in just a moment at the ending screen, but I have to say thank you, folks, and, well, peace out. One additional things, folks, if there's like any replays that you'd like to see featured on this channel, you're welcome to email them to me on my Gmail account, and I'll see if I can get them featured for the videos. Remember, folks, if you enjoyed the show, if you will, give me a like and a subscribe, and until next time.